UK Prime Minister's Liz Truss's resignation, I see as a template for true leadership, and of course, I'm painting a picture for the Nigerian leadership and Africa as a whole. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a Serious Matters on ONIF TV, and I'd like us to look at the resignation of UK Prime Minister. Of course, we're just done with the burial of the of course, maybe we should call her the longest serving monarch, of the United Kingdom, and so we're talking about the resignation of the UK Prime Minister 45 days after she got into power. And so that means in the last 50 days, or say 46 days, we have had two leaders in the UK resign, because of one reason or the other, which we'll be looking at in a moment. I feel that this is a template. It's a very good template for leadership, especially in Africa. We should imbibe such mentalities when it becomes difficult for you. I mean, it's only in Africa that somebody is frail and fragile, and then it's still forcing its way into becoming power. I see the leadership of Africa, or let me stay in Nigeria, as more of people wanting to force themselves on the people. And like I would always say that this is democracy. And democracy, even as young as we were then, we all knew the definition of democracy as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And so how does it now, in fact, some people should be disqualified from the race of becoming a president or what have you, the moment they begin to sound imposing. The moment they begin to sound imposing, they should naturally be disqualified, because that is not what democracy stands for. Okay, let's look at the British Prime Minister Liz Truss, who has announced that she will step down, or that at that time she stepped down as the leadership of the Conservative Party after her policies triggered economic turmoil and sharply divided the party. Speaking outside her Downing Street office on Thursday, Truss said she could not deliver the promises she made when she was running for Conservative leadership. That is interesting. And that's my key point. She discovered that she could not deliver the promises she made when she was running for Conservative as a Conservative leader, having lost the faith of her party. She discovered that she has lost, that togetherness of the party. I think this is a kind of mentality that we should imbibe, especially in Nigeria. When things are not working under you, I think the most serene thing, the most noble thing to do is to leave the stage for somebody who can handle things. But even in the face of killing people, even in the face of this one has nothing to do with the life of people. These people that are resigning. It has nothing to do with the lives of people. It has everything to do with the economy, of course, the lives of people by extension. But what I meant by that is it has nothing to do with people losing their lives directly. It has everything to do with the economy. It has everything to do with, the running, the leadership system, the leadership style. He said, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party. I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party, she said in a hastily arranged statement. Truss, who has been Prime Minister for just 45 days. You just find some people who are just stiff-necked. They want to be there. They just keep being there. It doesn't matter whether people are killing themselves. It doesn't matter whether heaven is falling. They just remain there. They just remain there. Even when everybody is calling for their resignation, even everybody is saying, you don't need to be told. Nobody called for the resignation of this woman. Nobody called for a resignation. You just find that people just know in a serene environment. They just know the noble thing to do. They just know the noble thing to do. But unfortunately, it's not the case in Nigeria. It's not the case. It's hard to hear that somebody resigns from an office in Africa. That's largely because of our poor mentality, our poverty-ridden mentality. It's poverty that makes people to. I hope you know that poverty has nothing to do with the amount of cash you have at hand. Even though that is the definition in Africa, in Nigeria, that's the definition. But then poverty has nothing to do with that. Poverty is mainly of the mind. Poverty is mainly of the mind. And so now the Bible makes it clear that there is this man who is holding more than he can even handle. He's holding more than his will. And yet he says it tended to poverty. Is equal to poverty. Even though he has plenty, he seems to have plenty to his side. It's equal to poverty. That means poverty is of the mind. So majority of our leaders are poor, even though they seem to have the physical cash, but they are poor. That's the only reason why anybody will put money inside a soakaway. That's the only reason why somebody will put money inside a room and put AC there. That's the only reason why somebody will put money inside a storage tank. That's the only reason. Because most of our leaders are poor upstairs. We are poor. They are so poor in their mentality that they feel that, look, if I don't make it now, I will not make it again. In fact, that mentality has so much destroyed our system. This woman has only spent 45 days in office. 45 days. And this has affected us. It has affected our system. It has brought us this far. She has been Prime Minister for just 45 days. She said she will remain as Prime Minister and party leader until a successor is chosen. The leadership content should be concluded by October 28. Graham Brady, the chair of the Conservative Party's 1922 committee, said candidates would require the support of at least 100 Conservative, MPs in order to enter the race to replace Truss. Nominations will close on Monday, and after a vote by Tory MPs, then party members will decide the winner in an accelerated online vote. The party manager had said the opposition, and so that's. Well, let's move on, right? The Tories cannot respond to the latest shambles by yet again simply clicking their fingers and shuffling the people at the top without the consent of the British people. We need a general election now. And opposition leader Sir Keir Starmer said in a statement, the Conservative Party has shown it no longer has a mandate to govern. He's added, after 12 years of Tory failure, the British people deserve a much better than this revolving door of chaos. On Wednesday, Truss has pledged to stay in power, saying she was a fighter and not a quitter. But she could not hold on after a senior minister quit her government with a barrage of criticism, and a vote in the House of Commons descended into chaos and acrimony just days after she was forced to abandon many of her economic policies. And so she just suddenly discovered, what I'm doing does not pay these people. I'm not helping them. And so if I'm not helping them, I've got to leave. It's a decision that she just made because she's human. Human in her decisions, human, her human flesh. A great number of lawmakers had called for Truss to resign after weeks of turmoil sparked by her economic plan. When it was unveiled by the government last month, the mini budget triggered financial turmoil and a political crisis that has seen the replacement of Truss Chancellor, several policy U-turn, and a breakdown of discipline in the governing canvas Conservative Party. Of course, lawmakers' anger grew after a Wednesday evening vote over fracking for shale gas, a practice that Truss wants to resume despite opposition from many conservatives. Produced chaotic scene in the parliament. Now, with Conservative holding a large parliamentary majority An opposition called for a Franklin ban was easily defeated, but there were display of anger in the House of Commons I beg your pardon, with party whips accused of using heavy-handed tactics to secure votes. Maybe if we leave it at that point, we have made our point. We have made our point. I think the decision of this woman and, even Boris Johnson is supposed to be a template for our leadership style. That when something is not working under your leadership, excuse us. Excuse us. Excuse us. You can't continue to be president or continue to be a governor, in a state where, things are not working. People are complaining. People are sad. People are hungry. I read the news yesterday, a state in Nigeria telling people in a particular region to relocate. And the question everybody is asking, relocate to where, sir? Relocate to where? I can tell somebody coming out to tell everybody in K2 in Lagos, my 12, Koshofe, everybody in that area, they should relocate. Relocate to where? You know how many people live in each of those houses? You see those houses small as it's small. The people living in those houses, you go fear. Go there in the evening. You see the people retiring. You know that in some of those houses, you don't know yourself. All of you don't know yourself. It's in the evening. You wake up at night to go use the loo. Then you discover that somebody is sleeping on the path on your corridor, and you're wondering, who is this person? Somebody who is just homeless, who just feels, let me just put my head here. And of course, you won't do anything. You just wonder, let me just leave this fellow alone. Just take a rest. And before you wake up in the morning, the fellow is gone. On the street again, hawking something, trying to make ends meet. Decisions that don't just add up. I just pray that this template it will be imbibed. It will be imbibed. Please feel free to drop your comments, but make them simple and civil. I see this as a template that should be imbibed. And if imbibed, it will help us. Well, thank you very much for watching. This is still Serious Matters on ONIF TV. You're free to drop a comment. Your opinions are always welcome. Please don't forget to share our videos, subscribe also, and comments. Drop your comments. Help us to do much better than we are doing now. Thank you very, very much for watching. This is Serious Matters on ONIF TV. My name remains Olukunle Abraham. Of course, what we're doing is to make our society much better. What we're doing is to contribute our quota to making our society better than it is now. And of course, leadership is key to the growth of any economy, the growth of any society, and that's why we're hearing our opinions and voices. And so we believe very, very strongly that if the things that we talk about here are being imbibed, are being looked into, are being emulated, then we're sure to be better off what we are now. Thank you very much once again for watching. My name is Olukunle Abraham. Talk to you again very, very soon. Please do share our videos, please. I beg you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.